Please, if I can ask everybody to sit down. I'd like to welcome everybody to the 20th Pakistan Breakfast hosted by Pathfinder and VRG. It is our privilege to welcome His Excellency Prime Minister Kakar. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. First of all, I would like to start with Mirek Duzek, old friend. I'm starting to have a hard time keeping up with your titles, Mirek, but Managing Director, it's been a dizzying rise, and obviously in charge of Eurasia, Europe, and other forum engagement. Mirek, I'd like you to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really a pleasure to be here again. IKRAM, Zarar, Mr. Prime Minister. First of all, I'm informed this is the 20th time that you have this Pakistan breakfast at the annual meeting. So what a great tradition. When I spoke to you, IKRAM, before, you have been a partner of the World Economic Forum for over 30 years. So you've been coming here for over 30 years. I'm sure you've seen a lot of change, but really thank you so much for your engagement over the years. Mr. Prime Minister, it's so nice to have you here. We met yesterday at a session that was focusing on geopolitics, and you spoke very eloquently. Thank you for that. I also remember, of course, still that you are dealing with the aftermath of the floods and all the natural phenomena that you had in your country. You have the 4RF plan, and so I am glad that you will be able to also hopefully use the platform of the World Economic Forum here to bring more partners on board from the international community. I also wanted to congratulate Pakistan on the Recharge Pakistan initiative that you launched at COP28. If you allow, I'll just like to say a few words about the overall framework here this year. It's called Rebuilding Trust. We're gathered here under that theme. It is a direct response to the erosion of trust that is frankly evident in societies and among nations. Some would link it to the many deep transformations that we see all around us, be they geo-economic, technological, societal, related to climate and nature. And some would say that those transformations taken together have actually ushered in, if not a completely new era, at least a stark new reality. And so we're putting that front and center here this week at the annual meeting. And we're doing two things in response to that. One, we're going back to the DNA of the World Economic Forum. This has always been a platform for dialogue. Now, you may think that this is trivial. Dialogue is easy. We just have people speak to each other. But you could also argue that the complex geopolitical moment we have right now is actually the result of an underinvestment in dialogue over the past year. So you will see us, and hopefully you are seeing us, making an effort to include the relevant stakeholders within society on issues like energy transition, like trade, like climate, things people disagree on as well. So just trying to make sure that also we provide that space. Also in terms of different generations, very important. And obviously also with regard to how different nations are included in the discussions. But the second part is also important. At least I feel, because of the different transformations we've seen, people have been spending a lot of time to just do the diagnosis of what is happening. That's fine, and you will see a lot of the sessions still trying to do that, but it is really important that we move firmly towards solutions, that we are able to open pathways, talk about new models, new policies, new strategies that will actually help people to deal with the new reality that some would say has arrived with all those transformations. So in that respect, I also wanted to mention that we have here a specific initiative which has been going on for some years. It's called the Addessing Alliance. It is focused on how do we make sure we digitally include more people worldwide. And again, I wanted to thank IKRAM, Pathfinder Group, and through your virtual remittance gateway, VRG. You have been part of this. You have been part of this on behalf of Pakistan. We made a pledge overall globally that we wanted to connect 1 billion people by 2025. And right now, at the beginning of January 2024, we're at 784 million. So we will get there. And you've been a big part of this. And just to say that the specific thing that you're doing here, it's called Asan Mobile Account. It's been tremendously successful. We're very happy that you're part of that initiative and you're helping us make a difference in Pakistan and in the world. With that, again, big thank you to Pathfinder Group and big thank you to you, Mr. Prime Minister, for being here at the annual meeting with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Marek. Really appreciate that, and obviously the introduction about Pathfinder and VRG, the Asan mobile account, has already been a great success with millions of accounts opened and billions of transactions already there. But I think before I introduce His Excellency to say a few words, I think the theme of Davos this year, rebuilding trust, probably applies to Pakistan as well in a lot of ways. Your government inherited a very difficult situation, a falling GDP, floods born not because of Pakistan's fault, but the climate change that had been wrought upon by other industrialized countries in the world, rising inflation, a stock market that was in turmoil. And I think what you've done in your brief tenure so far is starting to rebuild that trust in Pakistan again. And you can see that from the response we've had at Davos, at the World Economic Forum. Just this breakfast is a good example. There remains a deep interest in investing in Pakistan. Pakistan, for all our difficulties, and we must be honest about ourselves, we must face up to the challenges and difficulties that we've had. So we don't tell investors an incorrect story about who we are. We should tell them about the pitfalls, but then we should also go and tell us how we are overcoming these challenges, why Pakistan remains a wonderful place to invest as a developing nation, as a nation that is in the right place, connected to the Middle East, connected to Central Asia, connected to various parts. And I think what your government has done has been an admirable job. Rising GDP, the Pakistan Stock Exchange has been rising for the last 5 months. Inflation remains a big question mark, but that is coming under control in various places. Some of it obviously has to do with the oil shocks and the war in Ukraine that has caused a lot of the supply side problems. So again, not Pakistan's fault, but we remain the victims of it. But I think I say it's a privilege to host you, because it's a privilege to host not just you, but members of your government at a forum like this, so that you can tell the Pakistan story effectively, so that people understand why we remain a great place to invest. We should take our challenges. For example, we always lament about our geopolitical sort of geopolitical placement of region. We are surrounded by problems. I think we can turn that around and say, okay, yes, we have issues on both sides of our border. Also there are issues, in terms of the north and so forth. But we can turn that around and say, look, we remain the focal point for various old roads that lead to various different parts of the world. We remain part of that connectivity, as people will tell you. We remain part of that solution. A young population, yes, there are growing concerns about unemployment, but let's turn that around. A population that is under 30 years old is also a market for goods and services, a burgeoning market for goods and services. An investment in education, reform in education, a focus on what we believe, digital financial inclusion, for example. These are the things that will take Pakistan well ahead in the 21st century and get around some of our problems. With that brief introduction, I would like to now welcome the Prime Minister to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled and I'm so grateful to IKRAM Saab for his personal involvement and giving me initial introduction to World Economic Forum a few years back when I was relatively less known. And here I was in this breakfast audience a few years back. And I was just thinking about this transformation, what has happened. IKRAM Sahib has been very generous to me in personal capacity, has always introduced me to different forums, and I've always benefited from his advices and suggestions. So thank you so much, sir. Pakistan's story, Pakistan's storyteller. Pakistan is a great place. I am not just boosting about in the hyper-nationalistic tone while I'm saying this. Pakistan is a great country. Why? It has a population of 240 million people at its backyard. The whole of Central Asia lies there, which is landlocked, and of course it is looking to have connectivity through Pakistan. Midway, yes, Afghanistan is there, and as Iqbal has said, that it is the heart of Asia. So the stability over there does have a spillover effect in the rest of the Asia. Along with the North Caucasus and Iran on one side, and then there is a Confucius civilization of 1.5 billion people. So Pakistan, as a member of ECO, which has a 500 million population, Pakistan is ECO's India. It's biggest in terms of its population. Some $36 trillion trade is happening next door in China. And on the right, GCC with all its hydrocarbon exports has transformed its economy and diversified its economy, and looking forward to enter into the manufacturing area. So what do they lack? They do have capital. The banks are filled with the money, but they don't know where to put it. As there is a demographic disadvantage. So they have two options: either import the population to their own countries, or take the capital to the framework where the right kind of environment is available, the labor, cheap energy, and so on and so forth. Either they import population from India, Bangladesh, or Pakistan, which has, of course, political implications for the Arabian Peninsula. So the preference probably would be that the capital would flow to those countries. So we have to be more competitive, more attractive to facilitate that journey of industrialization over there. Chinese transformation of the journey of its modernization, where they started post-1979, and they have acquired a stage where they are relocating some of its industry. And one, along with the Southeast Asia, destination would be Pakistan. A country which has diversified cultures, ethnic groups, geography, topography. You go to the north of Pakistan, you have 8 to 9 highest peaks in the world. It's a heaven for the people who are interested in mountaineering. Then you have deserts of Thar, and plains of Punjab, and deserts even in Balochistan. So this is all amalgamation of a different kind of a landscape, which is quite unique, that it is offered in one place or in one territory. Pakistan's biggest asset is its human resource. 240 million people, 60% of them under the age of 30. What does that mean? That actually means whole of energy. Energy which needs, of course, a direction. We have got around 1.5 million workforce just in the IT sector. We've been working on its international accreditation also, that a year at least we should produce about 50,000 graduates who would be internationally accredited. Pakistan's governance structure is improving. Yes, of course we have challenges, but if we can respond to those challenges within 5 months, I'm pretty much sure that any mandated government which would be in place on 9th of February or by the end of February would get it as a blueprint that how did we respond in this short stint. And I'm quite sanguine about that, that people are feeling a deep sense of positivity. We brought improvement and there was a revamp of the taxation structure. The entire structural changes are happening over there, that how do we collect our taxes. So there are two lessons which is take home, and that is spend less on the government and earn more. So effective government, smart government, less government. And we are partners in the business, in the private sector. We have our own stake with the private sector. We would encourage them to make more money, and we'll tax them, take our share of the business from them, and spend it on the social sector. This is the model. This is the model which can work. This is the model which has worked in many parts of the world, and I'm pretty much sure it would work here as well. Pakistan is a story of identity also. We've been viewed as our journey started probably in 14th August 1947, or to some who have studied Pakistan studies at school, the entry of Muhammad bin Qasim from the Arabian Peninsula is at times referred as a starting point of that identity. I would take it a bit further. I come from Balochistan, where the Mehergarh civilization initiated, and they were the one who provided the early inhabitant to Indus civilization. So Pakistan's identity and its story starts more or less about 9,000 to 10,000 years ago. And that was the area where the inhabitation started. This identity process, the collective memory of Pakistan, it has so many languages as part of its identity, starting from Sanskrit to Persian, English, local languages which were produced from Saraiki to Pashto, from Brahmi, which is a Dravidian origin language, to Sindhi, from Sindhi to Punjabi. And they all contributed along with the inspiration from the Central Asian languages, the Turkic-Mongol origin languages. And it crafted a new lingua franca of Urdu. It expressed itself in poetic terms, it produced drama, art. So Pakistan is not just a story of a specific religion, it's way broader than that. It's way broader than that, and there is a lot of interest. Urdu is one of the biggest languages spoken around the world. It's poetry, the classic. We do not have people of less stature than what Goethe is to the Germans, or Shakespeare to the Englishmen. People like Ghalib and the rest have left a lot of deep mystic impact, and in the manner those expressions have been done. West knows Rumi, but very few knows Ghalib. That is the unfortunate part. We have not been able to showcase him. Though in my humble opinion, the themes, of course, Rumi is mentor. We are not creating a competition over here, but they were the wine of the same bottle. So more or less with the same sort of taste, the artistic taste. So Pakistan is not just a land where the trade activity would be happening and all dry. It has its own ambience. It has its own color. It has different cultures, different languages, different cuisine. Starting from Baloch Saji to Shinwari's Tikka and Kadais are the favorite cuisines which one can experience from one end of the country to another. So Pakistan is a beautiful story. Pakistan is a great story. We need more storytellers like yourself, IKRAM Sahab. Thank you so much for inviting me here again. And I hope we will continue with this partnership with the World Economic Forum and Pathfinder Group, and we'll be contributing in future also. Thank you so much.